Is the dialogue on Soul TV. My name is Prince Apollo. Looking back at highly contested Kawempe by-election, the NRM um, planning to contest the results in courts of law. Alongside the Forum for Democratic Change also joined in, and they are also planning to contest the results, but also the candidates from several formations still unsatisfied with the process and the outcome. And we are looking at the violence, the alleged use and deployment of goons to destroy ballot boxes, the intimidation, and all those. What does it speak to the future of democracy in Uganda, and especially as we head into the 2026 elections? I'll be reading your comments and observations. Tell us what you think about all this force that we see and grit that we see in democratic contestations as an election. Dr. Jede Duere Wanzala, I somehow now see why the NRM is going to court, but I may ask you, is it for making processes better, or what do you see?
Apollo, if you ask me straight like that, I think when you are you chest thump, you go saying I'm big, I'm strong, and then the smaller boy beats you to the ground.
KO.
Sometimes it is very embarrassing. It is very, very embarrassing. So what I'm saying is an exit strategy
For NRM.
for NRM, because you know that the next election is coming very soon. You want to control the public narrative, and you say, if this has not happened, I was going to win them. But inside your heart, you know that you did not have a path
Sure.
to victory. That's the reality. Because, this election has an effect in that it energizes people. Another constituency will say that, if we stand as strong as those Kawempe people, we can overpower these guys.
Oh.
So where you had the entire establishment, the army, the RDCs from all over the country in the same place, where you had the police, you had the jet, and then the power of civilians appears to have defeated you. There is a way it energizes others. So I do not expect an inquiry to improve things, because we have had so many. Since 2001, I can count for a number of times the Parliamentary Committee on Human Rights has visited. They were in Imbara municipality. You remember the campaign of Winnie Byanyima and Ngoma Ngime. A report was presented. The same things that happened in Kawempe happened there. We saw Bukedea, the same things. We have seen court rulings, same things happening. I think what we need is not these inquiries. Okay? These inquiries. What we need is for us as stakeholders in the electoral process of Uganda to sit and we rethink. Is this the kind of country we are trying to set up, to build? Is this, because President Museveni knows that elections were a trigger for a guerrilla war in this country. He himself, he fought because he said it was cheated. We had tendencies, he quotes, constituencies where their candidates were kidnapped.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we quote also where Kiyonga won in 1980, where a DP candidate disappeared, was killed, and then Kiyonga refused to come and swear in. The only seat that UPM won. So if you are a product of such the ugly past, I would think that it is a high time we sit together as stakeholders, the CSOs, religious leaders, government, opposition, electoral committee, and we see what kind of country do we want moving forward.
Do you find the delay to Gazette Narukola also suspect to perhaps ill intentions?
Yeah, I believe one, not by the Electoral Commission, because I believe the Electoral Commission that declared him would have already gazetted. But there are players, other actors
Confusing.
who want to confusing the president, who say things went very bad, we must do something tagenda kuraira. There are such characters that are there. Because
Can they stop him from swearing?
but since
She's within the law.
Since I saw from the Electoral Commission spokesperson that they are still within the law, because the law gives the returning officer
7
days, and within
24
thereafter
hours.
48 hours
Yeah.
they can gazette a person. But you see why I'm saying that there is circumstantial evidence. In other by-elections, we have seen a report submitted in 2 days, and a person is sworn in. This time, a whole week has gone, and people are grumbling, especially from the ruling party. So I'm right through circumstantial evidence to say that
I saw Honorable Semu Uganda on the floor of Parliament relating to a case of Honorable Mawanda.
Yes.
That he was declared today, and in 24 hours he had been sworn in at
Absolutely. Parliament. And by the way, I have to be sympathetic to the NRM candidate. She's a gentle woman, very intelligent. Actually, I'm so sympathetic to her. She has a genuine cause that she's talking about, but there are other people who are crying crocodile tears, pretending to be with her, but their mission is not different. I was so sympathetic to her
What is the mission?
When I saw
according to you,
I saw midweek when she was saying that she had received communication from the Electoral Commission that her votes had now reached 9,500. So I wondered, where are they counting from? Do votes grow like mushrooms that I will lock them in the room, and then in 3 days they have increased in size, then I take them to the market? So
I will explain that how it happens.
No, that must be a lie.
Because once you are declared,
no, please, let's not confuse the vote.
Okay, let him first tell us how can ballots grow overnight.
Before I go to that one, doctors made certain inaccurate facts, which when left to stand, they are rather confusing.
Okay, what is it?
One, there is nowhere it is written that if first trial failed, second trial failed, third trial failed, that the fourth one will not read into success. It is not there. These other reports is relating to this one in Barara, this one failed, this one was written, this one. There is no evidence, and it is not written
because the actors are the same.
That this one will not yield in good results.
Okay.
Let us give it all the opportunity to succeed. This one. Then in number two is this current one. How do the votes grow? They put a disclaimer.
Like mushrooms.
Yes. They put the returning officer put a disclaimer that depending on what is available now, even when the remaining one unaccounted.
So they are still counting?
Wait for this. Depending on what has entered, they use the word entered. We may not right now, depending on the count what is coming in, we so declare this one. Now, these ones came in later. They are being counted because they were
beating a deadline.
Yes, they were beating a deadline to announce.
Okay, let me hear from an election observer.
Then also, I think let's hear from this. I'm completing this.
Okay.
Let's not be pessimistic. The Electoral Commission is still within. Let us give all the good wishes. They will announce the winner. They will gazette. Gazettement is on the part of the Electoral Commission, not at all on the side of NRM party. So let us draw a distinction between the responsibilities.
All right.
Yes.
Farida, you've spent some years in this. Working within electoral spaces. Can ballots grow after declaration?
Prince Apple, I think I still have a lot of work to do. Not only with, I thought that when I'm doing voter education, I will only focus on the voters in Nabiratuku, in Butambara, but even here, I think I should do
Even on the panel.
At the panel, I still have some work
People
to do.
to educate.
Exactly. Because with the presidential elections, that is when we have the timing for announcing.
The deadline.
The deadline. But when it comes to parliamentary elections, they cannot announce a winning candidate before receiving all the results from all the polling stations. Because all polling stations are entered into the system. Before they do what? They make analysis that this person is the one who has more votes. So there is no way Electoral Commission would hurry to announce Nalukola because when there are still more votes when there are still more ballot papers coming in.
Said
that is completely wrong.
Growing.
I don't know. Those are the rumors that are actually going around. They are claiming this and that. Electoral Commission does their thing according to the law.
All right.
So when they are given the Tari Center, that Tari Center is for you, Electoral Commission, and the candidates to utilize it.
Okay.
That is when you actually collect everything that is supposed to be utilized.
They receive all DRA forms.
All DRA forms
before they declare.
So excuse me, don't confuse people. They received all because they put supervisors at all.
You were there at the Tally Center.
Exactly, I was there at the Tally Center. So they receive all the 197. This one comes and says, I don't have results because of A, B, C, D. Me, I've managed to bring my results. They are here. Please verify. Everyone who was assigned has to bring all the results, the 194. That is when they said 15 polling stations, we have not received the results because the ballot papers were kicked. Someone who went to retrieve the results from those polling stations gave that reason that the buckets and the materials were tampered with. So if you tamper with those materials, there's no way they can actually prove that these are the votes for this person. Definitely they crossed those
All right.
that polling station.
Thank you so much. And Farida Rule is the executive director Ushahidi Foundation, but also she was an accredited election observer in the Kawempe North by-election. Dr. Jedad Wanzala is a public policy researcher, but also an associate lecturer at Uganda Management Institute. Male Kenneth is an NRM politician, but also he was a flag bearer for the NRM in Lubaga South 2021 elections. Let me read your comments, but you can keep those messages coming in. Tell us what you think about these developments in our electoral democratic processes, especially reflecting on what happened in Kawempe. Like somebody said here, yes, Prince, he's Richard listening in, but also I'm sure he could be watching from Ntungamo. Yes, Prince, but also NUP guys are not easy. They are behaving like security personnel. I also support the army because we can't wait to receive problems, then we blame security. NUP guys and their leaders lack discipline for sure. Okay, that is your opinion. And seems it resonates with the president's opinion. Thanks for the show. We all knew Kawempe North by-elections were 90% expected to be won by the opposition candidate in the case of the NUP. The NRM headed by the president wanted to force and overturn the results by deploying heavily and scaring away who would be eyewitnesses of a fair election. For example, the journalists. We all know this and we shouldn't fool each other. The question is, why would security personnel beat up journalists if they really wanted a fair and free election? Thank you so much. And the name is not indicated, but you can send us your name. We want to know who sent the message. I think the NRM party must accept the results, though the NUP group were involved in vote pre-ticking for the good of our community as citizens of Kawempe North. I'm sure he's saying the NRM should accept results for the
despite.
good of the community. I think that is what he's saying, not the other way around. Thank you so much. Not pre-taking. Good morning, Mr. Apollo. Tell that NRM man, this is your message.
This is your message.
Male, this is your message. Listen. Good morning, Mr. Apollo. Tell that NRM man to pass the message to the high authority. The more they continue deploying members, army, platoons, solidos, etc., the more voter turnout will decline. Just look at how people refuse to check their names in the voter register. Can't NRM learn from that? Even if re-election was put, I think he's talking about a rerun. Is it a rerun? Yes. Was put between Narukola and Nambi. Right now, I see Narukola overwhelming. People who are around the president normally give him wrong information just to hook money. Our party NRM is dying a painful death. Better wake up and serve the interests of the people. James Nimbale, your fellow NRM supporter, is really concerned.
I can't confirm.
You can't confirm, but he has confirmed. Let me get to the comments before we proceed.
They don't take it.
The sender, the sender is Walter Elongu from Kaberamaido, Kampala. Thank you so much. Who sent the second message I read? And from the SMS, somebody says our government has no shame. To be honest. Okay, no name, nothing, but please send your names alongside the comments. Let me expect more comments as we proceed. Send them by WhatsApp, send by SMS, and I will ask Farid again. Are you convinced that going to court, a criminal investigation, are all geared at making processes better?
Yes.
No.
Why?
Because we've seen so many investigations on different issues, and they have ended at that. Even if the president actually carries out an investigation or orders for an investigation, still the report will get to his table, and maybe by the time it gets to his table, the events, it has been overturned by events, and he's looking at so many other things like maybe deploying in Sudan. So still, it will not help the electoral process, because right now they cannot even bring reforms, despite the fact that they will bring what? A report from the criminal investigations that he has actually put across. And those people, if they find that really they were part of them, they will not be actually taken to court, or they will not be criminalized. Still, the people who are carrying out the report or are investigating will meander around, and at the end of the day, they will lie to the president. So for me, I think what
should be done going forward?
What should be done, everyone has seen, and we should all fight to make sure that we strengthen the laws in the electoral process, and we give full mandate to the Electoral Commission to be in charge of the elections. The issue of security interfering...
But as you speak about the Electoral Commission, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission has been in charge for some good years. I think he came in after 2016.
After 2016.
Yes. Some good years, close to 10 years.
But you see what happened in Kawempe.
At the helm of the Electoral Commission.
You would see him even...
He understands the mandate of the commission.
He understands the mandate.
What other thing, what can we do to...
But you would see when scenarios were happening in Kawempe, he himself also came up and said, whatever is happening, it's not for the good of the process. We are going to have a meeting with the security people and advise them and talk to them. What does that actually show? It indicates that the person is not in charge. When he came out and said, no, this is too much, why would you be journalist? Why would you handle a candidate like this? Meaning, by the time he comes out, he has also admitted that it was what? He was not in charge at the time. So we are saying, how do we give him several weapons to make sure that he's in charge, to make sure that whatever happened in Kayunga, whatever happened in Kawempe, does not happen again.
So can we
not on the elections?
Can we empower the Electoral Commission by amending the law? What do you propose?
I think we have to look into the issue of security. Who is in charge of security in election period? Who?
Isn't it within the law now that the
What
security
is, what
forces
is in
are
the
under
law?
the command
Yes. What is in the
of
law
the
right now?
commander-in-chief and the other delegated
What is in the
officers?
law what is in the law right now? It is the commission would just alert the security people. We are going to conduct elections and we need your support. What they do, it is not actually, it is not a matter of electoral commission to decide. The electoral commission, they cannot decide where the security is going to do whatever they are going to do. They can only brief them. But we need to know whether if it comes to election, who is in charge of the security.
Okay. If it is not for making processes better, why then, in your opinion, are they going to court? And are they talking about criminal investigations?
Umanyi Paul, when someone steals your phone, you have to find a way of getting back your phone. Or when someone actually cheats on you, maybe your wife cheats on you, you find a way of actually making sure that you get justice.
Who cheated on who?
So maybe the people who are going to court think that they were cheated.
Okay.
Given the circumstances that happen. So they have a right to go to court.
So they are being pushed by emotions.
By emotions. So the court will decide, because they with all think that the court is an independent person who actually looks at both sides and say that you are wrong. So, and also getting satisfaction that maybe I really lost, because that possibility is also there. If court decides that Banang, you really lost, go home and and eat something and rest. Or you won, there's this. You go, maybe it is this person who actually did this, or electoral commission, you made a mistake here, or you also the winning candidate, you won, it is okay, but you also made a mistake here, So that ruling can actually make the lives of my colleague here to be satisfied. Okay, as in like children in a home, like at least I've told mother or father.
So the NRM are going to court not for justice.
Not for justice.
They are just sore losers.
No, I'm not saying that. So let the court decide.
Okay.
Because now if they go to court, and by the way, they cannot go to court before Nalukola is gazetted.
Yeah.
They have to wait for Nalukola to be gazetted and sworn in, because if you go to court whom are you going to accuse?
Yeah, true.
Because Nalukola is not yet a legal elected leader, a sworn-in leader. So they need to wait for all the processes to happen if they're interested in going to court. So it is on their benefit. If they really think that they believe that there is a way out of going to court, they should push the Electoral Commission also to gazette Nalukola for them to be able to go to court. But if you see this diddling of the Electoral Commission also not actually gazetting Nalukola, it maybe
that means the
diddling with us who are the observers.
Because either way he will swear in.
He will be sworn in. If they go to court, they have to, court will decide, but
we'll
Nalukola
have time
will be,
to decide.
Exactly, Nalukola
so
will
he will be in
parliament.
Okay.
Yes.
Male, what is what do we stand to benefit from this legal petition, this legal process that you are planning to undertake?
Yeah, thank you,
as a country.
Thank you, Prince. Ugandans have learned to live and to believe in the rule of law and constitutionalism. However small a mistake is, as you may call it, it is not good. It must not be left to stand.
Yeah.
That is number one. This petition is not at all about council, Honorable Council Nalukola. No. It's about who and what is the root cause of the violence. Because everyone is blaming the other on the violence. Let us institute an inquiry into the whole thing. Then the culprits are brought up. That's why, one, the investigations, the results of the investigations will help a lot. One, in the amendment of the electoral laws. which everyone is crying for.
Do we not know?
Then
Wait a
number
minute.
two.
Wait a minute. Are you saying we don't know what the problem is with our electoral processes? Because I am sure even in Parliament, there have been several requests to table amendments on electoral laws.
There is what we call apparent evidence. This one may be why they are dilly-dallying with the electoral reforms. This one will give apparent evidence to augment the quick movement of the electoral reforms. But even then, if you go to court with evidence, courts deals with two things, facts and evidence.
Sure.
The Ugandans must know at this point.
So today we have.
It is not all about.
Today we have
honorable
all the
counsel.
evidence we need.
They're going to court
To support.
All complaint is not all about the honorable counsel Nalukola. It's all about what happened in Kawempe. All about what happened in Kawempe.
All right.
Whether Council Nalukola is sworn in and is seated as a legitimate member of parliament, the investigation to Ugandans, it is very necessary. Whether the past reports were sat on all this and this, we still need, because justice remains justice. Truth remains truth.
Dr. Gerard, and I'm sorry, I will ask again a similar question.
Yeah.
From what he said, that now they have evidence. Perhaps NRM looks at Kawempe as having an intrinsic value. I don't know why are they now patching up to make a case?
You are humming.
Apollo.
You are humming.
I really don't think that
Punching.
that yes, in Kawempe, the value that they see is that it somehow projects to the next election.
Oh yeah.
So if you win it, most likely you are going to keep it.
Oh yeah.
In the next election in 2026, and also it also has a psychological and PR value for the NRM. If they had won it
has won in
by
Kampala.
any miracle, if a miracle had happened and had won it, of course there is a value. It serves propaganda value, it serves psychological value, and then it demoralizes even the opposition people. There are people there who will say that after all, even if we turn up, they will steal it. Like I'm hearing many now talking about presidential elections, including very high level people are saying, as long as President Museveni is there, it will be useless to contest. There are people who speak like that because they say by hook or crook, he will have to stay, even if the voter turn up is low or what. But I think when I look at the NRM speaking, I remember the biblical case of King Solomon, the two women who were
fighting a kid.
over a child, over a child. And then those who wanted, okay, if you are not taking, let's destroy, let's cut the baby into two. And then you realize that the one who was crying, who was not making a lot of loud noise, was the owner of the baby. So I think it would serve the country value if people in authority just took a decision to say, going forward, we're going to behave differently. In the interest of peace, we're going to do that. But these here, talking this and that, trying to prove a point. Well, this lady and other candidates, the Aganagas, what they deserve, justice.
Actually, why would FDC also want to be part of the petition or to petition court?
Because now the NRM, I saw their lawyer, their legal director of legal affairs, saying that they don't intend to sue Nalukola. They intend to sue the Electoral Commission.
Yes.
Okay.
For conducting the election not in line with the law.
Yes.
Okay. And we have had similar cases where, like in the by-election which brought Bobby Wine to Parliament. The
Chandonga
NRM
East.
actually sued the Electoral Commission, and the courts convicted the Electoral Commission before they declared a by-election, and that was a pathway NRM thought they would do, but instead it brought Bobby Wine.
So, is there a possibility that we may have another, another rerun, a rerun?
No.
I think the chances are not there because you just 6 months to
6 months
election,
election. You cannot have a
by-election.
Can court overturn the result and send an NRM candidate to Parliament in this case?
No, it's not possible. The only possibility is that actually there's no possibility for a by-election because even if you had it with a high court case, and then now the person who has been elected will appeal to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal may not have enough time to dispose of.
The law says 60
So
days.
wait a minute. As
60 days.
okay, as
To 6 months.
within
6
to which to file a petition, I think that is 60 days.
60 days.
Yes.
Doctor, before I leave you, don't you find something good in auditing this election that we have, a by-election that we have said it has been violent and mad with all these irregularities? Don't you find something good coming out of such investigations and possibly a petition, a court pronouncement?
Apple, you see why I really don't have, I'm not optimistic about the outcome of the investigation, because I have given examples of similar occurrences. The only difference are the actors. That like Bukedea, where NRM were beating NRM, there were different actors. But we saw the president write almost a similar, I think this one here, they simply edited what he shared after the Bukedea LOC 5 election. Because he was talking about ballot staffing, he was talking about NRM ideology, intimidation, how now they have known and how they are going to handle these people. And then we saw
No, the president can write.
RDCs.
He doesn't need to edit.
Yeah, but he has assistants. He can proofread. He can proofread. It is assistants may recycle for him. But to be honest, if I bring what he wrote after Bukedea and this one, they're almost identical.
Okay.
Same issues. Him promising as usual to take action. He talks about the biometric system. He talked about that.
Mr. Male says the evidence we have collected from Kawempe will augment
Yes.
the efforts to table reforms
Yes.
and make
Yes.
the processes better.
Yes.
Is there the political will to table reforms? That is the question. By the way, he's a candidate. Mr. Male has been a candidate in Rubaga South, and he intends to. He may, you know, in his heart, he may wish for electoral reforms. But the actors, like the military actors who are in operations, their interest is not election. So it is up to you, who has authority over them, to prevail over them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen and the lady. Let me also see if we can have a few comments read out before we proceed. We are going into our final segment, 15 minutes to wind up. One thing we all see is that the security is supervised by the state in this case. The ruling party, which is NRM, and so the security will only do as commanded by the NRM officials instead of generously providing security and making sure the by-elections go on smoothly. All the blame is on the security command. To make my point a reason why we are only the NUP campaigns that we are disrupted. NRM has to change their ways and think of making this country a good environment for citizens. This is Walter Elongu from Kabera Maido. Thank you so much. Stoning Electoral Commission officials meant EC was too weak to protect their staff. NRM Farida be given a room in government parastatals to counsel her. We don't want to hear issues of petitioning as we run, we will not turn up for beating
He
again.
was advocating justice.
EC is too weak. The president knows what to do. Security hitting on non-Kawempe people who were in Kawempe to promote violence was right, but beating media people should stop. Government should apologize to the media. Okay, thank you so much. You did not give us the name. I implore you, viewers, to please give us your names alongside the comments so that we know who is communicating. Good morning, Mr. Polo. Kindly ask the lady from the Electoral Commission, she's not from the Electoral Commission, if they got to know who actually kicked the ballot boxes. Ntate Richard is my name. You can respond.
I'm not from the Electoral Commission, but I was accredited by the Electoral Commission to observe the elections. That means I have to be an independent observer to actually see
Who kicked the boxes?
the thugs.
Thugs from where?
We do not know where the thugs came from, but the thugs came at Kazo. They came and kicked. There's a video showing people not in uniform, so you can't know who this person is. And also,
where were security and the army as the thugs were kicking boxes?
That is the question. Where was the security? And if the security was actually present at all those polling stations, why didn't they arrest those people?
Were some thugs arrested?
They have not arrested anybody who actually in line with kicking the ballot boxes. So we are asking
So the security personnel were folding hands as thugs
exactly,
and
as
goons
thugs
vandalized
were
ballot boxes.
Exactly. So they should arrest, they should show us that they arrested this person, these people who actually kicked, because they were present. They were present from morning up
So
to
what
evening,
was the reason, according to you, for the heavy deployment?
The reason as to why they actually deployed heavily is to protect the votes and to make sure that the process goes on peaceful. So if you deployed, if security deployed heavily, how come that these people who came without even a gun and kicked and destroyed the
Who should answer that question?
It is the security, because at that time they convinced the Electoral Commission that they are going to be in charge and they are going to keep law and order and make sure that there is security at all polling stations. That assurance came from security. So you cannot tell me that the security that was deployed at all polling stations failed to actually arrest those people who actually kicked the ballot boxes.
All right.
And Apollo, just a second. Some of the goons from some of our independent monitors who were there, after kicking, made sign language with the deployed military. And then they moved close by them, actually almost guarded, and then they went. So
unfortunately, our cameras were no longer
We are
on ground.
because we had
Brown.
been beaten. That was the purpose
Can
of
I
beating
also
the
say
journalists.
something?
Here are allegations
Yes.
that even the goons had the full protection of.
For me,
I mean, don't you find it really disturbing and peculiar for a highly guarded polling station is vandalized, but with members and security personnel all guarding the place?
Depending on where and how one sees this from his or her perspective. I mean, there is no way that is just.
Is it possible
No.
that with all the army deployment, goons could come in and vandalize a polling station and then walk out free, scot-free?
Then if you ask that, my sister here, Farid, has just said, we were standing on a polling station, we saw stones coming from nowhere. Then you ask, was it possible to have stones were there? Equally, in this case, it was possible. Now, would the security personnel start shooting? These guys were
arrest the goons.
No, they were running into innocent people. Any attempt to get them, the people who were there, they were protecting them. So somebody comes, kicks a box, runs into
the crowds.
The crowds.
Okay, we'll wait for a report from the criminal investigation, possibly to understand what happened, but that's not good for our democracy. Mr. Apollo, let NRM agree the outcome, as we have been agreeing their fake outcomes of their by-elections. Moses Ibika, Kaliro, Namwiwa. Okay, thank you so much. That is your
view.
That's your view. But Marie,
yes, please.
Some people actually from what we've read from the comments,
Yes.
are saying, why can't we let go? Why can't NRM let go?
No.
This has been an opposition seat in parliament. Yes, they are reclaiming their seat. Why can't they let go?
You see, there are two things the population, I've not understood. Number one, no one has refused to accept whoever was declared the winner. The contestation of NRM is only on the violence. NRM has a
President Museveni talks
concern,
about intimidation,
yes,
ballot stuffing.
yes,
That is in the letter of the president.
yes. We are only concerned about that. No one has even commented on who. That one would come when we investigate that there was.
You
this.
participated in the 2021 election.
Yes.
Do opposition also ballot stuff, involved in ballot stuff?
Well, that is a different scenario. I'm on Kawempe.
Okay.
I'm on Kawempe. Once the truth comes on the table that there was this, there was this, there was this, there was this, that's what NRM is interested.
So we wait for a report.
We wait for that
And the
investigation.
outcome of
Not at all on a candidate. What people are saying, why can't they accept? No one has said we have not accepted. No, we are on who caused this, because it is a nasty event. We must blame it.
Thanks for the show.
Report, even if it is instigated, it will not come out.
Come again?
That report, according to me, even if they do investigations, we shall never see that report.
Okay, that is your opinion.
Yeah.
Thanks for the show. Kindly thank me, the gentleman from UMI. He's as wise as Mr. Semujunganda. Please kindly help me ask the NRM fellow whether he truly doesn't see that the security were only helping in causing chaos in Kawempe. You can respond. Didn't the heavy deployment and the actions of security personnel really exacerbate the insecurity and chaos in Kawempe?
I believe the person who has asked that question has been following the trend of events. As I said, from the death of the late Honorable, may his soul rest in eternal peace. At the time of burial, at the time of beginning of the campaign, if he was alive and keen to the events that were happening, he would have seen. Now, did he want the security to look on when people were being harassed, when people were being stoned left, right, center, when people were being beaten, when people's businesses were being vandalized? Now, I mean, it is the duty of the security personnel to keep law and order.
Good morning. I think we all saw this election from day one. Let NRM people stop fooling us. Nowadays, our eyes are open. Even young kids see what kind of government we have, which is not ashamed. NRM people stop telling us lies. We are tired. Kasaga in Jinja. These are your comments. Our viewers. We have now to close in a few minutes. Why is NRM crying for a small fish, yet you always run with our big fish of presidential election? Let them also feed it. Moses in Kaliro Kali. We have now to conclude.
Yes.
Your final remarks.
Yes,
on
my
this show.
final remarks.
Especially as we head into the 2026 elections.
Yes, it goes with a logical question. At least for me, I have not seen security personnel invading people peacefully praying in worshiping areas. Why?
Because they are not after power.
So
The issue here is
the
power
issue is even when there are two parties contesting for a
So you
position,
expect worshippers to
because
behave,
they are peaceful.
to behave.
The very
as-
moment, because they are peaceful.
You expect politicians to behave as worshippers.
Where violence is, the security operatives must come to put people in order.
All right. Thank you so much, Farida. Your concluding remarks, and
First of all,
especially to the population now, because the population seems now to be confused, disenfranchised, and I don't know.
I still salute those voters who actually turned up to vote in Kawempe, despite the fact that there are few, because Kawempe has around 199, 34 voters, and only around 20,000 turned out to vote. We have to salute those people because despite the fact that some of them, their voices were not counted, but at least they turned up. They had they responded to the responsibility that as per the constitution that you have a right to vote. So they came and voted. We cannot give up. You know that most of these politicians, they have their own selfish interests.
Yes.
But they play with us, the voters, and yet we are the ones that we are key. Without us, they are not actually. They cannot be. So we should be mindful of whoever wants to disorganize our voice. We should bring that person to book. So we make sure that they should not suffocate us. To make sure that we give up on our right to actually participate in these processes, because when you see whatever is happening at the end of the day, as if they don't want us to.
As an arbiter, as a referee, a non-partisan participant in this election, can you exonerate the opposition from the violence that happened in Kawempe?
No. I think everyone had something to do with whatever happened in Kawempe.
Very good.
So we need to come out clean, and we need to make sure that we follow what the law says, and we have a peaceful, and let Ugandans actually exercise this right. We should not disenfranchise Ugandans, or we should not disenfranchise voters.
Thank you. Thanks for the show, but Uganda's politics is like wars. Now for us, we are waiting for 2026. Okay, let NRM be fair and accept defeat. Okay, I am hoping to see NRM people in court against opposition, not vice versa. Very interesting. Kivunike Samuel in PG. Thank you so much, our viewers.
I wanted to do something. For example, I want to appeal to the minister in charge of constitutional affairs, Honorable Norbert Mau. You are disenfranchising the voters in prison. You are disenfranchising voters in diaspora. Okay. These people were supposed to have participated in this election, but after...
What is he supposed to do?
He was supposed to bring amendments to the law such that to give provision for this to be.
Thank you. Right. Our time is running out. I'm sorry. Okay. Your final comment.
Yeah, in conclusion, I had an opportunity to review electoral laws last year on behalf of USAID. I did a comparison with a number of African countries like Malawi that keep changing people through elections. I saw that our laws are relatively better compared to them. But what is really at play is the behavior of characters within our political processes. Namely, security, like Kawempe, the biggest mess came from the UPDF. And what I see, Uganda in this region is the only country where the head of state and the chairman of a ruling party has a son as a CDF, and the CDF also runs a political group called the PLOA, and so it talks of succeeding the father. So I think we just need to stop pretending. Okay. And we address the root cause.
The elephant in the room. My name is Prince Apollo. I would like to appreciate you, the viewers, for being with us for this whole 2 hours. I appreciate the panel of Dr. Jeded Werewanzara. Thank you so much for being with us today, as usual. Thank you so much, Farid Darule, for coming over. And thank you so much, Kenneth Male, for being part of the dialogue this morning. Let's again catch up next Saturday in another edition. Let's keep peace, preserve the unity, and be real brothers in this country called Uganda. God bless you all. God bless Uganda.
Bless you too.